Hey, what's up, y'all? It's the Mother's House Podcast, and I am Deshaun.
What's going on, family? Peace. This is Corey. What's up with my cousin Zoe?
Chilling. What's up with you?
Chilling, man. Chilling. So, Mr. Mathew Knowles, Beyonce daddy. He acting up. He showing his ass a little.
You know what? I don't even think he's acting up. I think he's being honest.
Being transparent.
Yeah.
And saying a lot about, colorism and how it affects people.
Right.
All the way down to the children.
Right.
So what was actually said? Where we getting this information from? What's happened?
I mean, well, he said a lot of things. He said that his mom told him not to bring home a dark-skinned, nappy-head girl. He said he used to date white women all the time. He said he thought Beyonce's mom, his ex-wife, Tina Knowles, was white when he first met her. And then he admitted that he feels that light-skinned girls have it a lot easier in the industry. He don't think Beyonce would be as successful if she was dark-skinned. He think both of his daughters benefit off of light-skin privilege. He said that that's why Rihanna, Beyonce, Nicki, Mariah Carey, light-skin.
Cardi B.
Cardi B. So, yeah, he said a lot of different things. How do you feel about all that?
And what he's saying, he's not lying. I mean, we can't dismiss, the darker skin, the darker you are, the bigger your problems. The darker you are, it's like the perception of media, of entertainment is, it's not beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You get the Petey and the Youngos and you glorify them, but you won't do that to the large mass of black entertainers, dark skinned melanated women.
Right, speak up a little bit.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me a little better?
Yeah.
I was just saying that, he's not wrong. You know what I mean? I don't see nothing wrong with what he said right there. Other than the fact it shows that, colorism really does play in a role of him, how he chose his mate, who he was seeking, and it came from his mother. You know what I'm saying? The anti-blackness came from his mother. And that's interesting, because we got to unpack that to a certain degree. But he's not lying when it comes to how light-skinned artists in the entertainment field are perceived in the industry, in entertainment, in television, in workplace. You know what I'm saying? And to the darker skinned women counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
All over the world.
All over the world. The darker you are, the bigger your problems. You know what I mean? Me being a lighter skinned male, you know what I'm saying? I don't consider myself light skinned, like quote unquote light skinned, but hey, I am light skinned. I have a privilege over my cousin Deshaun.
You think so?
I honestly don't think so. Because
I can understand it.
This is another thing. It's different between males and females.
It's very different between males and females.
Very different between males and females. You dig what I'm saying? Where, when the females come to a psychological thing, and not just psychological, it comes to sometimes physical, sometimes it comes to a whole bunch of circumference of problems.
I mean, girls are just more, they're judged more on their beauty anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
And when you have years of equating white to right and light to right, and as close as you can get to white to right. So it just his parents, they were in the system. He said he grew up in the South in like the 50s and 60s and stuff. And
he from Texas, ain't it?
I think he's from Alabama.
From Alabama. Okay.
At least that's what the song says. So.
Yeah, it's really bad out there. Colorism really bad out there. Yeah.
Right. So it's like I'm not surprised. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And then I mean, if anybody knows what they talk about, it'll be him. With him being in the music industry and growing up when he grew up, and having a very successful daughter who happens to be light skinned too, actually. And if he's admitting to light skin privilege, it must got some type of truth to it.
It's true. There ain't nothing false about it. I mean, you can look at the industry and look at the trajectory of the likes of Beyonce, of the likes of Rihanna, like even Cardi B. But then look at their counterparts. Who's the dark-skinned female that can equate to them? Kelly Rowland.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think there is one.
If there is one, you got Kelly Rowland. You have right now, you know, there's a lot of beautiful and very much talented dark-skinned, melanated women out there. You know.
But Kelly doesn't have a Beyonce career.
No, exactly. Nobody had that. Can't put on that stratosphere. Even if you go back to the day, we look at Prince. Look at Michael Jackson and how he changed his color due to vitiligo and all these different things.
Right.
Prince was a light-skinned man. If Prince wasn't as light-skinned, he wouldn't be as popular.
You don't think Prince would have been as popular if he was dark? Oh wow!
No,
wow.
No, I don't think so. If he wasn't as a light-skinned man, Barack Obama wouldn't be president if he wasn't mixed.
Oh hell no! He would not even. He wouldn't even be in the government. He wouldn't be in government.
Like, but he wouldn't got to the White House at all.
We haven't had a dark-skinned music artist in a while.
Like a long time.
Especially
like a real. I'm talking about female now.
Especially female. I can't even think of one. Maybe Grace Jones. Like
Diana Ross, Aretha Franklin.
They ain't dark-skinned.
Well, to some people they are. They brown-skinned.
They lighter than me.
Aretha Franklin ain't lighter than me. I think Aretha Franklin about your complexion.
No, Aretha Franklin is lighter than me.
Oh, well. Tomato. But at the same time, not deep, rich, melanated sister does not get that kind of stuff.
And also, not to knock light-skinned people, too. Because a lot of people, what I've heard before is that light-skinned people have just as much melanin in their skin as dark-skinned people. It's just a different shade.
That's very true, but that ain't the fact. The fact is the treatment of darker skin.
Right, and I'm just saying we don't want to sound like we knocking, light-skinned people.
Well, you do that. I don't care about white-skinned people tears in this discussion because we don't have time to just cry about I was picked on, I was called white, I was called this, I was called that. When you have the advantages, and especially in entertainment, you know what I'm saying?
I don't, but it's like I do, but I don't know. I guess that statement was just for me then. I don't want to sound like I'm knocking light-skinned people because, my mama light-skinned, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a knock to light-skinned people. It's just a fact of the matter.
Right, and I get that, but I just want to make sure, people don't listen and be like, oh, wait a minute,
Wait a minute, don't be talking about me like that.
Right.
Oh, man, I had to go through this. I used to get beat up by little black girls because they were dark-skinned because they thought I was pretty, and it's like, shut up. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear them cry, baby kids.
I get
I ain't trying to dismiss your pain or nothing, but come on now. We're talking about in the music industry. We're talking about the entertainment industry. We're talking about jobs. They'll give a job quicker to a light-skinned person who perceives white, or a name that perceives white, quicker than a black name, quicker than a black person or a darker-skinned person. That's just fact. When the people get, like for instance, with black males, black males are already seen. If you're a dark-skinned male, you're seen as a threatening. You know what I'm saying? When a light-skinned male come in the room, he don't seem as threatening. Even though there's some crazy ass light skinned niggas out here. But it sometimes equates to death. Also when it comes to men, when it comes to young women, it equates to beauty, it equates to standards, it equates to barriers. It can look at how Mathew Knowles picked his wife. He thought she was white. You know what I mean? And that's very thing that kind of strip down and break down the campaign of anti-blackness have reached to your favorite artists. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
and I'm sitting here thinking like,
Beyonce.
Did Beyonce mama really look white? Cause she looked black to me.
She looked black to me. Yeah, she looked black, but still at the same time, back in them days, they used to pass. The light-skinned people used to pass themselves off as white.
But they said that she was very in touch with her blackness.
That's very true.
So
that's probably true. But still, at the same time, she is a light-skinned woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? perception is from the eye. You know what I'm saying? And what he saw a light-skinned woman who looked white, it looked like she passed for white, and my babies ain't gonna look dark-skinned like me. They ain't gonna look like my mama. Cause my mama said don't bring home no black.
And then that's crazy. So do you think he built Destiny's Child around his light-skinned daughter to make sure they were darker than her?
Yes.
Oh.
Honestly, yes. Yes. And some of the girls from Destiny Child, like there's a dark-skinned one, that was my favorite one. When they first came out, the dark-skinned one, she had like the red hair.
Mm-hmm.
She was gorgeous to me.
I mean, they're all pretty.
All of them beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, Kelly Rowland is the most beautiful woman in the world to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's really beautiful. Beyonce beautiful. All of them beautiful. But the same thing, he built that because he knew
crazy.
How the industry was going to work and how they're going to tweak it. And he knew his daughter's going to be the star because how he set it up. And that's manipulative, but that's the way these it
worked.
it worked, and not only did it work, but it also programmed a lot of more young black girls who are dark skinned and melanated feeling like they're not beautiful enough. They can't look like Beyonce. You dig what I'm saying? Mm. I know my girlfriend right now, she's melanated. She's a darker skinned female. You know, she was telling me when she was growing up, she used to hate her skin. It took her up to her till she turned 21 or 22 to get comfortable with her skin tone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of black women deal with that, and they still deal with that all the way up to their 60s. You know what I mean? So, and still people will perceive them as, oh, darker skinned women are more aggressive. They're more this and more that. Well,
so do you think the success of a Beyonce kind of made dark-skinned women feel some type of way?
I can see her doing that. I mean, you know, it's not just Beyonce. It's not just Beyonce. It's the industry in itself. It's the culture itself. That whiteness is clear. Like the white water is cleaner. The lighter skin, lighter you are, you know, the godly, close to God you will resemble. You resemble God, quote unquote, the white man that is Leonardo's DiCaprio uncle. You know what I'm saying? When he made that damn painting.
Leonardo da Vinci?
Da Vinci, my bad. Da Vinci. But you know what I mean? Like, but Beyonce, like, I think it's bigger than Beyonce, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I think this situation with Mathew Knowles speaking on is bigger than than him and his family.
True.
You know what I'm saying? This speak to a lot of black families. You know what I'm saying? Like, my father, he's a lighter skinned male, right? Mm-hmm. My dad is very light skinned. His father is, you know, he's about my complexion, probably a couple of shades darker than me. But he was Creole. So he had a Native American grandmother, and his father was black. You know, they were all black. But my father's mother was perceived white, half white and half black, but her father was actually black. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? From in the history, from what I learned from my auntie Paula, her father, like, for the longest, everybody thought James Hall was a white grand dragon of the KKK who adopted this little black girl because his white wife couldn't have no kids. So he took my grandmother, my fee, and put her on his taxes as his granddaughter, and kicked my grandmother, my great grandmother's my fee father, kicked him out of Macon, Georgia, kicked him out. He ended up moving all the way up to Illinois. That's where they last saw him. Find out where he was and who he was. All the way to Illinois, my grandmother grew up without knowing who her real father was. She thought that white racist was her father. You know what I'm saying? But he kept them alienated, but isolated from the blacks, and kept them isolated from the blacks, but kept them isolated from the whites too, because he didn't want them to be seen. Like my grandmother, when they had those, like he ran the little train station down there in Macon. That's where they got their money from the railroad. And when he was, when he'll have meetings like the Grand Dragon meeting, he'll have my grandmother who's a light skinned woman. My grandmother could pass for white. Like if somebody, well, of course, black people see it, they'd be like, "That's a little black girl. Come on now." But to white people back in them days, they'd be like, "Oh, this little white girl. She will be the one, you know, sitting at the desk during no damn meetings." So she saw it all. She went through it all. You know what I'm saying? As a light-skinned woman. But then come to find out that her father, when her father died, it's when my grandmother met her. When my grandfather died, her real father died, she went up to Illinois to meet him and realized her father was a light-skinned black man, not a white man. So these colorism played a part in her life as a light-skinned woman. You think what I'm saying?
Right.
And even when she got married to my grandfather, her white stepfather, the white man who claimed her as her daughter, who was a racist, who was a Ku Klux Klan member, according to this all story from my auntie and my father, who was a white Ku Klux Klan member, hated my grandfather to death because he was too black. And my grandfather was a couple of shades darker than me, and I ain't super light skinned, but that ain't that dark. You know what I mean?
Whitney Houston was almost dark skinned.
Huh?
I said Whitney Houston was almost dark skinned. She was like a brown. She was pretty big. Woman. Janet Jackson kind of brown.
What that got to do with anything I just said?
It was just long. It was
it's
like
not just long. I'm just giving you a context.
I get it, but it was.
I'm giving you a context of what's going on with the history of colorism.
I know. I totally get it.
Like we gotta give people these nuances. We can't kind of just brush by and just keep talking about.
I'm pretty sure they got the nuances. You said everything you needed to say.
Right. But, that's what I was doing with that. See, y'all be trying to play me, y'all.
I don't.
Every time you try to play me.
I really don't. Sorry, I tried to change the subject.
But at the same time, what Mathew Knowles is talking about, what his parents had instilled in his mind and how he perceived the world and how he perceived light skin and colorism and how he attached that to his children. We continue to attach these things to our children. And it's attached through media. It's attached through our artists. You know what I'm saying? Cardi B is the hottest thing out right now, and it's due to her light-skin privilege.
Mm. Do you think Remy Ma suffers because she's not light-skinned?
Maybe. If she is suffering. If she feels like she's suffering. I don't think she's suffering. You got the likes of Missy Elliott. You got the likes of Remy Ma. You got the likes of Lauryn Hill. You got the likes of Diana Ross. You got the likes of, and she suffered from colorism because look who she married. Look how she attached her children, her lineage to her family.
But do you think just because she married white, she suffers from colorism?
That's not necessarily the case. Just because you marry white or you marry light-skinned person, you suffer from colorism. Like, let's be honest. No, that doesn't necessarily say that. But, I believe there was a criticism she had against black, dark-skinned males. Diana Ross back in the day. I think I remember seeing something to that effect. I could be wrong. Y'all correct me in the comment section. But
what did she say?
I can't 100% honestly say what it was. I'm trying to think what it was. Could have sworn was an interview. I remember somebody did a documentary or doing something talking about Diana Ross and how she hates black men. But then again, that could have been one of them bitter black dudes on the internet talking. So take that with a grain of salt. But at the same time, even with Kodak Black, you know how Kodak Black said?
Oh yeah, he did say that. Yep.
He was like, I can't date no dark skinned woman because they not pretty enough. This and that. I need me a light skin. And then Lil Wayne, you look at Lil Wayne, his whole trajectory, thick red bone, all that. You know what I'm saying? The perpetuation of lighter skin in hip hop and a glorification of light skin tone women. You know what I'm saying? But never showing the glorification of black, dark-skinned women. And a lot of black women are mad at Kendrick Lamar because his fiance is a light-skinned
It's like you just get in trouble for dating light-skinned women.
You get in trouble for dating a light-skinned woman. Because black women, dark-skinned women being told they're not good enough. They're not pretty enough. They're not beautiful enough. They will not get the job. They will not get the role. They will not get superstardom. You know what I'm saying? They won't reach that total stratosphere status, even though a lot of dark-skinned women are just as talented as the lighter-skinned.
Viola Davis. It's some sprinkles.
Viola Davis is a super talented artist. I think it's coming more so full circle
And I also think it's just hard for black women, period.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Across the board for light skin and dark skin.
Right.
But for darker skinned women, definitely. And dark skinned men, too. Like I say, sometimes equates to death with dark skin.
Oh, Lord. That sounds real cryptic.
Yeah. It's the fact. Like, even though you break it down to the incarceration rate, darker skinned males get harsher convictions than lighter skinned males.
Really?
If you really want to look into it, that's been proven.
It's hard out here for a chocolate.
Chocolate brother and sister, you know what I'm saying? And it's systemic. It's by design. You know what I'm saying? It's very much by design. To keep us separated, to keep us not looking at the real enemy, but pointing fingers at each other. You keeping me back because you light skin, or you keeping me back because you dark skin. You're not pulling yourself up. You know what I'm saying? And just look at, Mathew Knowles.
Right.
He said in his statement. Granted, I don't like Mathew Knowles. Let's be honest.
I mean, I don't know. He just doesn't have a good image. I'll say that. He comes off as this crazy stage dad who had to be a crazy asshole for his family to be who they are. That's what it comes off. No shade against Beyonce and Solange, because I think they're super talented and they deserve everything they got, but that's how he comes off.
Do you think there's some bitterness to the reason why he's speaking out about this now? Do you think it's a little bit bitterness and she kind of wrote him off? She wrote him off like, you can't see my child or nothing, but wrote him off like, you ain't my manager. Like,
I don't think it's a bitterness. I think he's a teacher. He's a professor at some school, I think in Texas, and I think he's just being honest. I think he was being honest. Too. Yeah, I feel like he's older now. Like he just kind of like whatever.
It's whatever. I gotta say, I might as well tell them why Beyonce is here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But how do you feel about it when you first heard this story?
The idea of Beyonce being popular because she's light skinned isn't new to me, but him saying it was some real shit for you to come out and say that about your daughter. So I was like, damn. He laying it all out. So yeah. And then I think I read somewhere there was like, yeah, that's why she always had blonde hair, so she can so she can make people think she white. But don't do Beyonce.
That's what I'm saying. It even affects down to the children. It affects all the way down to the children. You know what I mean? And how the parents raise them, and how the parents, the ideas, you are beautiful, you are better than Kelly Rowland, you are better than these dark skin. He probably was telling them the same damn thing.
You really think he was telling them that?
I'm pretty sure he damn sure did.
Now those are some controversial statements, sir.
I don't give a damn, but I'm pretty sure he damn sure did tell Beyonce and Solange that, and Solange said fuck that, and Beyonce, and that's where Beyonce at and Solange at.
Oh gosh! Like,
so I said, "Fuck that! I'm gonna rock my natural hair." And well, Beyonce was like, "Okay, Daddy, I do what you said."
Shut up! I hate you.
I'm just saying. That's probably exactly how it went down.
I can't. That's funny. Beyonce a beast though. And can't nobody take that from her.
Yeah. Regardless, you can't take nothing away from her. She's talented. She's gorgeous. She's amazing. She inspired a lot of women. You know, a lot from black women to white women. She inspired a lot of black women too. A lot of black women, even dark-skinned black women. Like, I don't think dark-skinned black women look at Beyonce like, you know, I hate her. If they do hate her, it's probably because they see, you know, the society hatred towards them.
Right. Most girls, I don't know no girls who don't like Beyonce.
I do.
He's like, I do.
I know several. But I know a lot that do love her. You know what I'm saying? I even have a homegirl. But Deshaun.
Yes.
What do you think need to happen to try to keep that thing, get it back in balance where black women are just as represented as, you know, the light skinned women? Like, you know, of course, right now we're in the age of awakeness. We are in the age of Aquarius, where the divine feminine is coming out. You know, and now you got Mathew Knowles, who is speaking up about the divine feminine energy, about the dark-skinned woman, the mother of nations. You know, coming out. What do you say that we can do? Not meaning you per se, but us as black men, you know, to do to try to elevate all aspects of the complexions.
Well, I think things are already happening. I think people are starting to really appreciate all complexions. You know,
Right.
I always see, at least on Instagram and on media, and
Right.
to a degree, dark-skinned women have. I know the modeling world really likes African, like really dark women.
Right.
But you know, and we also have to remember that it was never balanced. You know, it was never an even playing
balanced.
field. Like it never was. You know, from like before our great grandma. You know, it was always different. You know, unfair, I guess. So I think, you know, you just gotta remember that we all in this together, and don't be tripping over no shade.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But at the same time, people are allowed to like who they like, as far as who you're attracted to.
Right. True. I get that. I'm not. You shouldn't dispute that. But
when you start to judge a person just because they're light skinned, like, oh, I bet she's stuck up. Look at her.
I think somebody gonna say, Deshaun like light skinned people. You like light skinned people.
I like all people.
Yeah. But I think when it comes to that, to elevate and show the darker skinned melanated woman that they just as beautiful as the blacker skinned women. You know, Keita Lamar dropped amazing visuals for All the Stars. You know, this is a darker skinned woman. You know,
Yeah, she's a pretty brown girl.
she's a pretty beautiful brown girl. And he was kind of celebrating black women. And I know a lot of black women don't like Keita Lamar. Like I said, he dated Beyonce. You know, she light skinned. They felt betrayed because he was in the beginning. He was showing off darker skinned women from Poetic Justice to to now to All the Stars. But you know, we got to continue to push darker skinned women in the forefront just as much as we push darker skinned women. Just push black women to the forefront. Period. All the complexions. Let them shine. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't have no lot when I see black women, black girl rock, or black women doing their damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Let them rock. You know what I mean?
For sure, most definitely. All shades.
All the shades, you know. But let the darker skinned sisters get their opportunities. Let them shine. Let them show what it's like. Like even when we were talking about Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake taking off the nipple thing. Like I said, that was all because she was a black woman, and they are terrified of a black woman's sexuality and owning it. You know what I'm saying? So let these black women shine, man. And Mathew Knowles, he just dispelling the old truth or the still truth about, you know, complexions and colorism in our community. You know, you had what that girl name?
Who?
The Latina girl.
Amarla Negra, I believe her name.
Amarla Negra speaking up about it in Latin America. And you know, Mathew Knowles speaking to the effects of it today, and it's affecting to our biggest star, Beyonce.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. She benefited from light skin privilege. That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but after that, I'm cool. I ain't got much to say.
All right, I'm done too.
All right, my brothers and sisters, thank y'all for listening. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace, love, and light to the world. One love.
I will not raise my daughter differently than my mother raised me. The rearing I got from my mother, words cannot express. I could live in any time, I could live in any country, I could live on any planet, and I would be fine.
What was the key? What did your mother know? What truth was coming through your mother that's going to come through you to your daughter?
My mother gave us aphorisms to learn as children. And there are two that stand out foremost in my mind. One is, the inner reality creates the outer form. I learned this when I was in grade school. I was very young. And the other is, the universe bears no ill to me. I bear no ill to it.